host, Red. I got videos today from the wall. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, ciao.
You know, life really does come at you fast because 1 minute, my boyfriend's meeting my parents and spending a day with his grandparents. And the next day, we have like a mini communication breakdown and I don't hear from him. And it's been a week. And my birthday's in 2 days. So, needless to say, I'm fighting.
Why can't you just hit him up? Why do all these women come on the line saying all these things and it seemed like they had some kind of tuffle or some kind of trouble, and she doesn't want to talk to him but expects him to call her the whole time? If you still care, maybe reach out.
Fighting for my life over a man, nay,
fighting for your life? What are you talking about?
Boy, and writing shit on post-it notes like, you're worthy of love and you're not a worthless piece of garbage, and putting it on my bathroom mirror.
They tell on themselves. They chased Chad and Tyrones all their lives, the Chadrones, and then ended up like this.
I'm not doing well. I'm not doing.
We know.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll explore how a woman tries to play the classic "let's take a break" card with her husband, only to find out that while she's waiting, he's already moved a female friend in to live with him. Additionally, we'll analyze a frustrated liberal feminist who finds herself attracted to traditionally masculine and conservative men, while she's unwilling to give up her single lifestyle or empowerment to build something real with them. Your support is super important to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get started.
So everybody loves to talk about the dating horror stories, but can we talk about reporting these people on dating apps?
This whole reporting people stuff.
So I've had a stalker for like 3 years, and anytime that I report them on the B app, I get a response from the app saying that like they have to see if other people report them before they take action. So let's contrast that with the Spicy app that I'm also on for dating. I recently ended things with a partner that was linked with me there, and
I'm assuming Spicy app is Tinder?
I reported the behavior that ended our relationship. Not only was that offline behavior concerning to them, but they said they would take action immediately and expressed empathy and concern. That's a huge difference in reaction. The B app is not where it's at.
In short, she's upset because she doesn't have absolute control over the app. The first guy you want to report just because you don't like him and he bothers you. Remember, when the man isn't attractive, it's
like just called match, and then the man can't message you anymore? Like, is it that hard?
Harassment. The second one you reported for bad behavior after going out with you. Could it be that he left you and it bothered you that he moved on? You call that bad behavior. Many times, these reports don't come from an objective place, but rather from personal frustration or anger. And the problem is that platforms don't always have a way to verify the truth behind these stories. Dating apps are not a court of law, and using them to resolve emotional or personal issues is irresponsible.
As a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who's willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age. Who is
No. They'll play that role, but they also expect you to play a role also.
not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional.
And we feel the exact same way. Why should we be confined and conform to the traditional ways? It's modern now, is it not?
Female, homemaker, childbearing.
Male, worker, husband, working his life to the bone for a wife.
Role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Yes, you are. Feminism is so much fun until it's time to be a feminist. There are a lot of contradictory declarations in her videos, so let's start at the beginning. Saying you want a traditionally masculine man who has the attributes of being a leader and a protector and a provider, who is gentlemanly and chivalrous, but you want him to be a liberal, is a total paradox. Liberal men, not all of them, but a lot of them, tend to go wherever the social and political winds will push them.
True.
So when the feminist movement came in and said, hey, you guys need to shed your masculinity and not be so assertive and start being more sensitive and don't be so ambitious and step aside and let women take the lead, they did exactly that.
And then now you guys hate them for them not being ambitious.
They became more feminine, and now your biological instincts are kicking in, and you're like, I'd kind of like to have a man who's a little more manly. As far as splitting the bill on the first date or subsequent dates, that's something that you're going to have to get used to, because men are waking up and realizing that women haven't had skin in the dating game, and that's why they haven't been taking it seriously. Think about it, ladies. One of the expectations of a traditional man is to be a provider, to provide you with things, which involves paying for things. So if you expect a man to pay for you on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth date, which one of your traditional roles are you fulfilling in return? Are you going to commit to him and be faithful to him from that point forward? Of course not. You've got a roster of dudes and you can go out with a different guy every night of the week if you wanted to. So why should he be expected to fulfill one of his traditional roles if the same isn't expected of you? Splitting the cost of dates ensures that the woman is at least to some extent invested in the dating process.
That's where I agree 100%. Just them putting a little bit of money down, even them just tipping or buying drinks afterwards, at least they're putting something in the game.
And is therefore a little more likely to take it seriously. Lastly, what does it mean to be an independent woman? Because I heard this woman say, I want to maintain my independence and autonomy, but I also want a man to come in and take care of me, provide for me, and protect me. But I also don't want to take on the traditional feminine roles of being a homemaker and bearing children. So what are you bringing to the relationship? What it means is that women like this want the benefits of a relationship, but none of the responsibilities. They want a traditional man, but don't want to be beholden to the expectations of faithfulness, supportiveness, submissiveness, and respect.
Oh, hell no!
Who's that Pokemon?
She wants a traditional man when she herself isn't traditional. This is the type of woman who wants a beta provider to give her everything while she contributes nothing more than intimacy. She wants her freedom. In other words, to act like she's single while in a relationship. The problem is that these men have their feet firmly on the ground.
It's funny that when men get into relationships, they expect men to change and to be more caring and all of these things. But when women get into relationships, oh, I should still be able to do everything I did before. What's up with this? What does me being in a relationship matter? Does it even make sense when they
If you
talk
expect him to pay, care for, and protect you, then he will expect loyalty, support, and mutual respect in return. Everything she seems to avoid. The issue is that women like this want all the benefits of traditional men without taking on the responsibilities of a relationship. The irony is that she criticizes liberal men for not being masculine enough while rejecting conservative men for not aligning with her values. A typical example of a woman who doesn't know what she wants.
My husband, 28 male, is living with a female friend, and she, 22 female, has become hostile towards me. My husband and I have been married for 3 years, and our marriage is on the rocks. It all mainly started after the birth of our first child together, in which he became increasingly irritable, aggressive, and sexually distant from me. Once he started to get physically abusive by grabbing and pushing me, we decided to live at different residences in a desperate attempt to salvage our marriage.
Grabbing you and pushing you. We'll take that with a grain of salt.
That was 3 months ago. I'm currently living with my mom, and I work part-time while also taking care of our 18-month-old son with the help of her. My husband purchased a new condo with the financial help of his dad and lives with a female friend of his, 22 female, who he apparently charges rent. Is it rent as in money or rent as in clapping cheeks? Because
either way, it's rent.
You can pay a debt a whole lot of fucking ways. I was uncomfortable about his living arrangement with this woman from the moment I heard about it, mainly because we agreed that we are not taking a break in the sense of seeing others. We're still married and are not going through a separation.
I'm almost positive you're the one that initiated the break. I'm almost positive he didn't want any of this, and then you started it and he got aggressive. I'm assuming. Just assumptions. And now it is the way it is.
But we're just trying to give each other, mainly him, space.
Him, huh?
No. I mean, y'all can tell yourselves that all you want, but no, because this man has bought a whole new condo with the help of his father and is living with an entirely different woman that is not the mother of his child, his wife, while you are living with your mother.
Well, you got to remember, girl, she chose this. She chose to move in with the mother and separate things. So
he wasn't worried about where you guys are going to stay, whether you guys were financially stable. This man is getting ready to move on with his life. He is moving on with his life. You're preparing for divorce.
Yep. I can see that.
You are. Like, denial is a river in Egypt, baby. You guys are preparing for divorce. Like,
these silly games, don't get upset about the outcome. As a man, if I live with you, you're the mother of my children, and you pack your things and leave, you're making it clear that you're leaving me.
True.
I won't say this man is blameless, because he's
Also
not,
true.
especially if there's physical abuse, which I find unacceptable. But this marriage is broken. He's clearly moving on with his life. By stepping out of that house, you made your intentions clear. Since he didn't reach out to have you live with him in his new home, and if that wasn't enough of a sign, the detail of the tenant living with him confirms it.
Yep.
That rent likely isn't being paid with money alone, and you know it. Men quietly discard. If he's not prioritizing rebuilding his relationship with you or defending your place as the mother of his child, then the message is clear. He's paving the way for a divorce.
Girl, she's become very hostile towards me, which is strange because she's supposedly only his friend and basically a tenant of his. For example, I went to visit him with our son, and the whole time she was sitting near him, staring at me with hatred. Girl, if you don't take the fucking blinders off and stop pretending like you do not understand what's going on, because if I take my son to go see his daddy, what is this bitch sitting here for? You're dismissed. If we need some drinks or some snacks, we'll call you. Thank you for your time. Like, why? I didn't come and see you. What are you doing here? Goodbye. When I asked if he and I could talk privately, she said, no, this is our place. And of course, this made everything awkward, so I just left shortly after that. Why are you pretending that you don't know what's going on?
Because she still wants this man and wants him bad.
And the fact that this motherfucker didn't say nothing to her for saying something to you. Like, come on, man. That is his girlfriend. And she wants to make sure you understand that you're not welcome there. And yo, dumbass, I just don't understand why she's so hostile towards me. Because you have the one thing that she wants. One, his son. Two, his last name. Of course she's going to be hostile towards you. You have what she... Come on, man. Girl, I'm going to start charging you motherfuckers for my advice, because the way I would be a millionaire over fucking night.
You don't think us men would be millionaires? We see this, oh my God, every single time. We call it out, and we're almost always right.
Stop pretending like you don't know what's going on. Open your eyes, baby girl. I don't know why she would act so hostile towards me if she was just a friend or tenant of his. My husband didn't seem bothered by her rudeness towards me either. At one point, I thought I saw him smirk. I don't know if I should be concerned that he and her have become more than friends, especially since my husband told me through text that him and I are still exclusive to each other. Girl, what is the best way to continue with this awkward situation? End it.
Leave?
That's the best way to continue on with this awkward situation. End it. I really wish that I knew you in person so I can invite you over and yell at you in your face and yell at you until I make you cry, until you understand that your husband is doing this shit on purpose. I thought I saw him smirk. Bitch, you saw him smirk. Your husband is evil. He's doing this to hurt you on purpose.
I can actually somewhat agree with this. Not the evil part, but him doing it on purpose to hurt her.
Instead of just ending the marriage, he wants to string you along. You and I are together. Don't worry about any of that. But I'm also not going to defend you when some bitch gets disrespectful towards you. Come on, man. Like, you deserve so much better. I need you to open your eyes and look the hell around and see things for what the fuck they are and not what you want them to be.
It's funny because it's true.
I have to agree with this woman. He's making a fool out of her. or she's willingly ignoring the situation. This shows that when a woman is in love, even when she knows she's being deceived, she tries to convince herself it's not happening.
Yep.
This man, in my opinion,
but us men do this too, to some degree,
is in the wrong. She's the mother of his children, and they're married. But you left him, even if in your mind it doesn't feel that way. It is that way. The moment you stopped living with him, you left him. Now he's watching two women compete for his attention, and of course, he enjoys it. The hostile behavior of this woman, who you claim is just a friend, is anything but subtle. If she's sitting there glaring at you with disdain, it's because she feels like she's in competition with you, even if you want to ignore it.
Yep.
That's not a sign of respect or interest in fixing things with you. He's already setting up his new dynamic and making it clear, even if indirectly, where you stand. Stop looking for explanations when you already have the answers.
Well, I mean, I'm sure people have given her the answers. It's just not the answer she wants.
You know what I wish more people knew? That the 1950s housewife, like June Cleaver, a lot of people think is like traditional values. That was not tradition. That was an organized PR campaign to get women to stay in the kitchen. When men came back from World War II, women were forced to leave the workforce. Ad agencies and pop culture really glamorized the housewife. Like, domesticity is so cute.
Do you not realize it's propaganda the other way around too? Trying to get you women outside of the work home or outside of the home to start working? It's either way, it's propaganda.
And women were continually sold more products and lifestyles that really emphasized their place. And then the post-war economy really boomed, and so did the suburbs. Middle-class families started to move into single-family homes, and men became the breadwinners. Then pop psychologists started to talk about, oh, women are the caretakers and the nurturers, and it's tied to our biology. So either she's going to be really good at taking care of the home and your children, or it is her personal failing. And then even educational institutions started to promote degrees in homemaking if women got higher degrees at all. And this is all to prepare women for marriage instead of the workforce. You can even see that publications like women's magazines went from writing about adventure stories to romance tales where women just find their knight in shining.
Do you not realize that's what women want? That's why people write books about these things, because that's what's being consumed. I'm not going to make videos of things that my own audience does not enjoy. If my own audience enjoys particular subjects, I will probably focus on those subjects a little bit more. That's just how things work when it comes to sales and, trying to sell yourself in a sense.
Training armor. So we're supposed to go back to traditional values. This was never our tradition in the first place.
What? It's been tradition since dawn of man.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
In summary, she's arguing that the traditional gender model isn't innate but fabricated, rejecting the idea that we should return to those values. Here we see a single woman trying to convince others to end up like her.
Yep.
Because misery loves company.
Damn right.
But let me remind you of something. The model of the man as provider and the woman as caregiver didn't emerge because someone dreamed it up in a marketing meeting. It arose because it was functional for its time.
Yep.
While men were rebuilding the economy after the war, women focused on creating stable homes in a world recovering from global chaos.
True.
Yes, magazines promoted that narrative, but do you know why? Because it worked. Families had clear structures, and the economic stability of the era allowed it. Today, a married woman who can afford to stay home and care for her children is living a luxury. Given the current economy, very few families can make that work. Do you know how many women today?
It's less than 20%, 20%ish that are able to be stay-at-home wives and mothers?
Barely have time to see their children because they have to work? They look more tired and aged from the stress, while many stay-at-home moms care for their homes, their kids, get enough sleep, and often even have time to go to the gym, especially once the kids are in school. For many men, the role of provider wasn't an imposition, but a way to protect and care for their families.
Damn right.
But a woman on the wall doesn't understand that, because the wall doesn't forgive.
Men, on a date, you should be there 15 minutes early and I should be there 15 minutes late.
What?
And the 30 minutes that you're alone, you should think about what you've done. Okay, I'll be there soon.
Yes, because men just all do horrible things, and we don't know that we do horrible things, and we should reflect on the predatory nature and misogyny that we have against women, right? Sure. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it.